welcome, Dave. Welcome to In Hot Water.
I would like to welcome Dave. I'm going to counterpoint Geno, and I'm going to say I'm on your side. I watched now correct me if I'm wrong.
I watched one of the videos.
What?
I watched a couple of the videos
I watched the Flat Earth video, and here's what it is. What have you seen with your own eyes, Geno? Have you seen the Earth be round?
I can't unsee what I just saw the
haven't.
past 15 minutes. I'll tell you that much, and I'd really like to. Fucking a bunch of shirtless Ukrainians. That was insane.
Ate a whole bunch of chocolate. I feel full.
Everything I've seen, for example, Dave, when I'm flying on a plane, I see the sun setting over the horizon, all that stuff.
Because that's flat.
No,
what?
It's round.
So
here we go.
So, guys, I might be on. This is not going to be easy because you really have to think here. But when you watch the sunset on an airplane, watch the sunset on an airplane, it's just going beyond the clouds. Okay, and the clouds merge with the horizon. It's just going beyond your ability to see it.
All right,
so this,
for one,
this lower cloud here would be the horizon, the way you would see it, and it just goes beyond it. It's that simple.
All right, let's do it. That didn't convince me. Let's do it a different way, because I mean, and let me say this in case I came over. You're not an idiot. I have nothing but respect for you. I think you're a very intelligent man. How did they do the moon? So they faked the moon landing, or that's a different thing. But when they were on the moon, assuming they didn't fake it, and they took the picture of the Earth, it didn't look like a flat disc to me.
Yeah, assuming that they were on the moon. I mean, that's a big assumption.
So you don't think they landed on the moon?
Well, I could show you 100 different ways that NASA is lying about everything. And then if I just show you one, that should be enough. But I could show you again and again and again. They're not the International Space Station. There's nobody on a space station. That doesn't exist. But to keep it simple, just look at the moon. If on the moon, if you see a full moon night, the moon is really bright. And for that light to get to you, it has to be even brighter at that distance. Well, this is them on the moon. Does that look that bright? Does this light reflect 238,000 miles back to Earth?
But isn't the moon the reflection of the sun off the moon or something like that? Or am I?
Well, that's what they say. But look, this is a lit side of the moon. And this is what we see on Earth. The moon is its own light. The moon is within the Earth system.
So that moon is fake?
Do you believe that the moon is in an alien space station, and that's why when they drop things on it and they're taking off, you hear like a ping sound because it's hollow and there's a moon base, an alien base inside?
So every single thing you've heard about the moon from NASA is complete and total nonsense.
Why would they perpetrate the lie that the Earth is round if it's flat?
That's a great question, and the answer is it's for control. It's to control your mind. The government is govern is to control, and ment is your mind. They want to control your mind. They want you to think that you're an insignificant speck flying through an infinite universe, when in fact you are at the center of creation. So if they can convince you that you are meaningless, that you have no power, that you're a random accident, then they can convince you of anything. Like there's a crazy bug flying through the air.
See, but I just don't see why they would need to perpetrate the flat Earth thing to make us feel we're insignificant. Are you saying the Earth is the center of the universe and it's not the center of our universe and not the sun? The center of our galaxy, whatever, the Milky Way. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Let me explain what the flat Earth is, because most people think it's a pancake floating in space. Because if you Google flat Earth, you end up seeing images like this. You see a disc floating in space with a bunch of planets. That's not what the flat Earth is.
Fast.
People think that it's disc floating in space, and that's not the case at all. Think of what a puddle is. A puddle is where water accumulates in the low spot in the land, and the edge of the puddle is the land that's just higher than the puddle.
Okay.
So expand that to a pond, which is a bigger puddle, and a lake, which is a bigger pond. So you got a lake. What is the edge of the lake? It's not where water falls off. It's just where the land is higher than the lake. Well, the Earth is surrounded by land. So the Earth pond, just think of it as a giant pond. You have all these islands, which we'll call continents, and then the land that surrounds it is the highest land on Earth, and it's called Antarctica. Okay, when you go to Antarctica, the land's 200 feet above your head. We live in the Antarctic basin. The Earth is 70% water, and large bodies of water at rest lay flat, measurably, provably flat. We've done experiments. We've used lasers, microwaves, mirror flashes with the sun, all sorts of things, and there is no curvature, none whatsoever. No curvature whatsoever.
I would like to say this before you continue. I have never had nor met anywhere on any program a more prepared guest. It is amazing.
What about Frankie?
How quickly you are able to bring up stuff and literally know the questions that Geno is going to ask you.
So here's the thing. You guys are going to ask all of what I call Flat Earth 101 questions. It's all basic stuff. It's the same questions again and again because we've all been brainwashed by Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie, and Neil deGrasse Tyson, the failed actor. Check this out. This is the official picture of from NASA, 2012. Okay, and here's the Earth. Here's the United States, and I put a little bar measuring from Baja to the other side of
Florida,
of Mexico.
Okay.
So we have this
Looks like
segment
Florida.
here. They tell us the Earth is 7,917 miles in diameter. Right. That's the diameter of the ball. So if I take these, there should be, if this is the distance that I told you, which is 934. We should need 8.5 of these would equal the width of the Earth. Well, I can't even fit 8.5 on here. Okay.
No,
I've said that.
This is a fucking painting. Okay. And that's what they have. That's what they show us. If you actually look, think about this. Look at what we see there. You see the United States.
Yeah.
Right. You see much of it's a little bit of South America kind of hidden there. But do you see anything else? Where the heck is all the rest of the land, right?
It's on the other side.
Oh, it's all of that
Watch
land.
this. I took the bait, right? It's on the other side, Dave, right? Go on, my friend.
As I'm so prepared, I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking for. So here's the circle that shows us what we're seeing up here.
Right.
And all of this other land, all of this is on the other side of that
no
ball.
way. But
Right.
that's
It's a painting.
impossible. Because you
It's a
said
painting.
8.5 of those things to Mexico would have to fit on there. That's impossible.
Right.
That's
And then
impossible.
I think it could fit on the back. I do.
Now, so where's the Ukrainian guy with no shirt?
We're done with him. Don't ever mention him again. I had to spend.
I'm showing you that NASA is lying. If I show you they're lying about one thing, you could unwind it all the way to we never went to the moon.
But can I circle
Because
it
the
back?
moon isn't
And
even a
why
physical
are the
place.
Bahamas so important?
Can I circle it back to this? So we're in the Antarctic Basin, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we send a satellite out, how come it doesn't photograph the giant Antarctic Basin? I'm sure that's a Flat Earther 101 question, but why wouldn't we see that?
Because there are no satellites. Satellites are a myth. Do you know that NASA is the largest owner of helium companies and the largest user of helium? You know why? Because in Antarctica, they're launching satellites on balloons, tens of thousands of these things.
Why?
They're crashing all over the Earth too, and they get swiped up quickly. But they go up there for over a year, and they can control where they go by controlling the height, and they go in different wind
very
currents.
prepared.
This is what a satellite is. It's hanging from friggin' balloons. And NASA has created a helium shortage because they don't want people having airships. That's why they had the
Let me
Hindenburg.
ask you this. For my daughter's birthday, I went to a dollar store. I was able to buy a helium machine to blow up balloons.
Yeah, well, there's helium, but you can't get like massive quantities of helium. They're always talking about there's just enough helium to get by.
Wow.
NASA controls all the helium in the world because this is what they're doing with it. These are satellites.
All right, let's do this.
Right?
Let's show the Ukrainian guy again.
Just ignore them, Dave.
Please
You're
don't.
great.
Please don't.
Did Dave say please don't? Dave.
Yeah.
All right, so watch this. Let's say, and you didn't, but okay, you convinced me. The Earth is flat. That doesn't make me feel any less significant. I don't see the control factor of it.
Any more significant.
You should feel more significant.
Doesn't make
feel
me
more
feel any
You've been lied to by the government. Flat Earth is a thing. Bobby has a question. Hang on, Dave. Go ahead, Bobby.
If there's a dome and
Yeah.
NASA's using the helium, why is there a helium shortage? Wouldn't it just stay in the dome?
Yeah, well, it was. There is no helium shortage. There's infinite amount of helium within the Earth.
Number one thing on periodic table.
But if you go all the way back to the Hindenburg, they demonized hydrogen, too dangerous, and everyone thinks hydrogen bomb and the Hindenburg, and then helium is the next gas, but there's not enough helium, so they've gotten rid of airships. Airships used to cruise all over the Earth in the 1800s. Right. But if you had an airship, you could explore the outer spaces beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. But you can't explore them because, one, they're off limits. And two, you would need fuel and expense, lots of fuel and crews and stuff. But if you had an airship, which basically just needs a fan and some sunlight for the solar panel, you could you can go explore
What
areas
if I
like
got?
that.
What if I got on a? And by the way, I see what you're showing there. It's like the helium balloon circling the flat
No,
Earth.
that's the sun and the moon. That's the sun and that's the moon. The sun and the moon are small and close and within the Earth system, right? The soul lure system is literally they're trying to steal your soul. It's a spiritual war we're in. It's a hard thing for people to grasp.
So if I get,
We're in a spiritual world. You believe in that. You read that poem that took 2 days.
Here,
What was it
let me
called?
ask you guys a question. Let me ask you guys a question.
Yes.
People, and you're gonna go here sooner or later. You see the space station, and they show you a shot like this, and I say, "Where's the land?" And what would you guys say?
Past the clouds.
Yeah, well, past the clouds, you can't see it. We're in the middle of the ocean, right?
Yeah.
This is what the shit that they show you. I did this with zero. Well, I didn't do it. Another flat earther did it with zero budget. This is from his front yard. He just turned it upside down. Okay.
Whoa.
So that's how easily you can be fooled, right? This is us sending a balloon up to 120,000 feet. The Earth is flat and stationary. The sun is close. It's right friggin' there, right there. And it was up there for 3.5 hours, and it came down. It landed right almost where it took off from. Well, the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. It should have landed 3,000 miles to the west.
I have a question.
So if I go on, mine was simply if I get in a Land Rover, like if I go to Antarctica.
You got a Land Rover?
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yes, I own a Land Rover. Fine.
Wow.
And I get in it, and I just keep driving away from the fucking water.
Fully loaded?
Will I drive off the Earth? It's fully loaded, heated seats and air conditioned. Shut up.
So,
Heated, wheel?
here's how navigation works. The North Pole is at the center. So here's a magnet. Here's a magnet. And I put a compass down, and if I go dead reckon east or west, I have to make a circle because that north needle always has to point to the center.
Okay.
So east and west are circles. That's true on a flat Earth and a ball Earth. It doesn't make a difference.
Right.
Right? I can even go from America, I can head north past North Pole. Now I'm heading south, and I'm over in Japan. Okay? Or wherever I'm going.
Yeah.
So you can do that. But what
You
you
don't need
can't
to know
do-
all the exact places. I mean,
what
it's
you
just a
can't
map.
do on a flat Earth, right? What you can't do on a flat Earth is go from the tip of Santiago
Chile.
across the bottom over to Australia, right? And people go, well, you can't
Sydney.
go over Antarctica because it's too dangerous. It's too cold. Okay, let's just stay at like 50 degrees south and just take this little short route.
Okay.
That little short route, it would be the way to go. But this is how planes go. They go from Santiago up to friggin' the West Coast to the East Coast, and then they go all the way back down to
Why?
Eastern. Well, hold on. If you want to go to Eastern Australia, it's even crazier. They go all the way up here.
Yeah.
Then they go all the way over to Europe or to Dubai, and then they go down.
Why?
right?
Because they don't want you to see the Earth as
I'll tell you
flat?
why. Because this is the path. This is that same path. Now, if I wanted to go to Eastern Australia, check it out. I go up across the United States, over to Europe, Dubai, and bam, here I am. It's a straight line. The Earth doesn't spin. The Earth doesn't move. Airplanes fly over the Earth plane, and that's it. Listen, I was like you guys. When I heard about flat Earth, people were suggesting it to me on my podcast. I deleted their messages and I banned them from our social media for even wasting my time with such nonsense. You guys at least invited me on your show to have this discussion, so you're better than I was.
Well, I believe you. I'm not on Geno's side. I think flat Earth's a thing. Now, describe the controversy, because a couple years ago, flat earthers were very frowned upon, and people would come after you guys hardcore. They thought you guys were these conspiracy theorist guys that were akin to what QAnon is now. How are you dealing with QAnon taking all the limelight from you?
We don't care.
Nice.
You know, this all ties back to what's going on in this world. The amount of deception in this world is insane. And it's because people are lost in space. They don't know who they are, where they are, what they are. They're confused. There's the analogy I like to make is people are lost. They're not connecting with their souls. Their souls know where they live. Their souls are here for a journey, and their conscious mind is not connected with them. So look at the documentary with Keanu Reeves, The Matrix.
No.
At the beginning of that movie, Keanu was depressed. He's laying in bed. Something's wrong with the world. He can't figure it out. And then look at the Keanu at the end of that movie when he realized who he was, where he was, what he was. He took his power back. And that's literally, that's a great analogy of what happens when you wake up and realize that you're not nothing, that you are something special in a special place.
And let me say this. Preach, brother, preach. I couldn't agree with everything you said more when it comes to that. But again, I don't see how whether I believe the earth is flat or round changes that, because I agree with everything you said 110% in the past few minutes about finding yourself and having control. But I think the world is round, and I still feel that way. I still feel we have energy. I feel we're power. I feel all that stuff. And I just need to understand.
Do you wear a mask when you go out?
No, I don't. What am I, a
good for you.
faggot, Dave?
God
In
bless
fact,
you.
I will send you fucking and I think words fucking have the power you give them. I don't care if you're gay. I think faggot means you're born wrong, like you think I am for thinking the world is round. But I don't wear a mask. Do you?
Hang on. There are people that believe they live on a spinning ball that are doing fine. They're holding themselves together, but there's so many people that are lost. And when you realize that that you have God-given free will and that nobody can have dominion over you, you take your power back. All of the control in the world. Imagine if everybody that had a restaurant in the United States said, I'm opening it tomorrow, we're having a sale, and we're going to overpack it, and we're putting twice as many chairs at every table that we've ever done before, right? It would be over. The whole lockdown would be over.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But people are living, they're afraid that they're spinning through space and that an asteroid's going to hit them and a nuclear bomb's going to go off and we're going to run out of food and global warming and all of this garbage. Okay. But when in reality, we are protected, we are in this created space, and that we have power over our world, and that our thoughts create our reality.
Is Greta Thunberg a liar or a puppet in the system?
Both.
Nice.
A lying puppet.
Really?
Absolutely.
Now,
How do you explain this?
would you rather talk to Greta Thunberg or Frankie or the Ukrainian guy?
Because they're all
I don't know
available.
who those other two are, but I don't want to talk to any of them, I don't think.
How do you explain the seasons then? Stop showing.
Can I share my screen for a minute? Can you enable screen sharing?
Can you? I thought you were going to say, "Can I have the past 15 minutes of my life back?" But you're
Hang on, I'm doing it.
Enable it, Geno.
What's that?
Enable it.
So
There you go.
I created an app that allows you to see, and I'm going to show you how seasons work on the app, all right? And it's
Sure.
going to show you how
Look at
the
this.
sky is a perfect clock. Still not enabled yet.
Did you enable it yet?
Geno missed the button. Hold on.
While you're doing that, this is what you guys believe if you believe we live on a ball, that we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. So when you watch the sunset, you're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound, which is making the sun appear to set. That you're orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. You're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles an hour. You're moving sideways at 1 or 2 million miles an hour. All of that's going on, and everything remains perfectly the same. And lakes are perfectly smooth, right? Is this water like it's sloshing?
Looks nice.
Like, yeah, we're going in all
be
different
sloshing about
directions,
half an hour.
and all of this stuff is impossible. These are just impossible things. These are impossible situations if the earth was moving one tiny bit.
I just heard Anthony Cumia yell, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, Anthony, I was on with Anthony, and he literally doesn't, he hasn't
He's
looked
a
at
little
any of it.
brain. Please, I've tried to have discussions. with
Are
him.
you saying he's not enlightened?
No, I'm saying he is so close-minded and unwilling to listen that he'll never learn.
He thinks black people should be allowed to vote. We've had discussion upon discussion.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it either because they can. That's a joke. I'm busting your balls, Dave. Okay, then let me
Hey,
explain.
what do you call a black guy that flies an airplane?
The guy that took my bike.
What? What do you call him?
A pilot, you racist.
I still wanted him to go the other way with
Hey,
it.
we got a question from Andrew. What? You're not on board, so just let it go. If you're not a flat earther, you're not a flat earther. He brought you into every other argument. You're on
Here's the
board with
thing.
him. What?
Here's the thing. The ball
You're
has
right.
a big advantage. You could be like Anthony Cumia. I believe in the ball. I refuse to look at any evidence, and I have no reason why I believe in the ball. And I refuse to look at anything that counters anything that I think is a reason. Or if you want to learn that the earth is flat and not a ball, you have to have a thinking, intelligent conversation and take time and effort to see. that-
He's a little quick question. Then we'll get to because this is a quick. How do you explain the sun? Like, do you believe in gravity with the flat Earth? Because okay, so the seasons are the sun and the
All
sun
right,
and the moon.
so I'm going to explain it because you're not going to let me share the app. So
well, I don't think my screen sharing works. I'm
It
sorry.
didn't work.
it's all right. You have to enable screen sharing for all, but that's all right. So gravity or seasons? Which one you want to do?
I want to do. I thought one answered the other because I thought the seasons were caused by the rotation of the sun. But how does the sun just spin around over the fucking pool of flat Earth we're in?
Yeah.
And hang on, Andrew and Bradley, we will get to you. I'm just being selfish with my questions. I apologize.
Yeah. So on the flat Earth, the sun circles around. In summer, the North is in the center. Okay, all the northern countries are in the center. So it goes around the Tropic of Capricorn, which is a smaller circle around the center. And then 6 months later, it does a bigger, wider circle over the outer southern lands.
Right.
So right now, on December 21st, it was at its maximum distance away from us, and it was Australia's summer because the sun was over Australia, and the sun was lower in the sky, because it's farther away from us.
But why
Then in
aren't they
6 months,
falling down on us, or what keeps them in that rotational path?
So hang on. The sun that we see doesn't even react like a physical object. I don't think the sun that we see is physical. It's a point of energy within the Earth system. But here, think about this for seasons.
Show me his face.
You got two. There you go. Well, I don't know if that's it. If I could share my screen, I could explain it better. But you got something's on the screen. So imagine an airplane, 10,000 feet, flying directly over your head.
Now, is the black guy flying this, or am I
the black
really
guy's
going to
flying it? The black pilot, right?
Okay.
And then there's another airplane 30 miles to the south of you that's paralleling that plane. Okay. Same height, 30 miles to the south. The one over your head, that's our summer sun. It's above us. But the one that's moved outwards is our winter sun, and it's lower in the sky because it's way out south. Okay?
So there's two suns now, you're telling me?
No. I'm just saying if that's when the sun's out there, it looks lower in the sky just because it's farther away, and it oscillates in and out inside the Earth system, in and out like that.
In and out.
But why? And did he answer this? And I'm just being obtuse. But how do they stay at that? What puts them on that rotational path? How are they not falling out of the sky or flying away? Or
so again, anything above our height and beyond the shoreline of Antarctica is speculation. But we've done lots of experiments, and when we send a balloon up to 120,000 feet, the sun's kind of right there. It's not 93 million miles away. It's right there. So what the hell is the sun, right? And that's a big mystery. But I've done the experiments I put a drone up on a super clear day, and the sun was up here, and in 5 minutes time, it moved down just as you would expect, and it got right to here, right to this apparent horizon, and it stopped. It stopped going down. 5 minutes later, it should have been down all the way down here where you can't see, right? But it sat there for 10 minutes. I got this up at 2,500%. And it didn't go down. It just sat there, and then it just faded away into the thickness of the atmosphere. Okay. Light doesn't go forever. Here it goes again. It just fades away. That's super sped up. Okay. It never goes down. I gotta go soon. Right. Okay. And it's all due to perspective and the light's ability to push through the atmosphere. Again, all of this stuff can be found on the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Because you're not going to find it online because Google doesn't want you to know.
All right, let's get to these questions real fast.
Two quick calls. Here we go. We've got Andrew. He's got a flat Earth question for you. Go ahead, Andrew.
Hey, so I love all this evidence that you're giving, and it makes me want to believe you. But the only thing that holds me back is the factor of human error. How do people keep this a secret? I mean, I've heard astronauts go on many podcasts. They seem like really normal guys, taking pictures from space. That would mean that all of these people are lying and being able to maintain relationships with their family and just never tell anyone this giant news. And everyone who's ever gone through the program has agreed to lie. And then other countries, when they have globes, they're all snickering. No,
right, we get it, Andrew. What's your response?
So my response is, look at the astronauts. Look at Buzz Aldrin. He became a drunk. These guys were offered $5,000 to just put their hand on the Bible, say I walked on the moon, and get the $5,000. They won't do it because they can't do it because they can't lie about it. I think that all the astronauts except Don Pettit are liars.
Going off.
I think Don Pettit is just retarded and he doesn't even know what the hell's going on. Just watch anything that guy says, and you'll be amazed that someone would hire him as a janitor. But when you're looking at
people would have to be involved,
show you once in space. Check this out. Here's the space station. These guys were flipping something around, and look at this guy. His harness didn't get cut out on the green screen. He's hanging from a friggin' harness. These guys were just finishing up an interview, and watch what happens. The green screen glitched out, and everything that was floating disappeared. It just glitched out, and they cut away.
All right, Anthony, I'm on this guy's side. The Earth's flat.
And watch this. She beams in a little fucking thing. This is virtual reality. This is called augmented reality. right? That's not there. She has it either in a contact lens or she's looking at a screen, and it's just playing with physical objects, non-physical objects.
Why
in
wouldn't
real
they?
time.
Why wouldn't they use the stuff that they use in movies then? I
Because
guess
in
sometimes they
movies-
don't, but usually they do, where they fake
buying
zero
it.
gravity.
I'm on
They
board.
do. They sometimes they're hanging them from wires. Sometimes they're in a 0G plane. Like this is a 0G plane, okay? And they make it look like the space station. And sometimes one time, check this out. One time,
He's just
One time,
making
Elon
sense.
Musk know all this?
yeah. So Elon Musk is a puppet. He's also like Don Pettit.
And
But
does
these
his
guys were
family know
live
that?
on
Everyone in
television.
his company
Yeah.
close to him?
These guys were live on television. They said we only got like 45 seconds of satellite time with the space station, and they were talking to them, and in the middle of the conversation, all of a sudden the guy slammed into the wall, and they slammed into the wall. But I turned it sideways and compared it to the end of a 0G flight. Kind of looks the same. Watch this guy here. This guy, he's an unexpected shift where he slams into the wall. He's floating two things, a roll of duct tape and something else, and he catches them both in one hand like a boss. Okay. Like he's done it 1,000 times before, because they can only do it for 45 seconds at a time. They're faking space. We never went to the moon. It's a fact.
All right, Bradley, your question for our boy Davey.
Excuse me while I kiss the dome. That's not my
There you
question.
go.
It's a funny song I thought of while waiting. Anyway, Mister, have you ever had any of these debates with like actual scientists or people who study the solar system and whatnot? And if so, are they like videotaped, able for us to see somewhere?
So Bill Nye, the lion guy with the bow tie, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He's not a
these
real
are
doctor.
These guys are failed actors, but they said the science is settled, and they say they don't have time to talk to stupid flat earthers, but they do have time to make video after video after video, strawmanning us and gaslighting us with nonsense, stuff that we don't believe. We've had some scientists on, and they're scratching their heads. They don't know what to do. We've had other guys scheduled, and then they like, oh, I better, let me just check into this. They check into it, then they cancel. Okay.
I'm sorry to be too.
We have
I'm not
pilots.
trying to make fun of you too much, but you did sound kind of childish with some of the things you were saying, like the ocean sloshing around. Haven't we learned in fourth grade science that everything is contained because of gravity?
Okay, let's talk about
Wouldn't
gravity.
gravity holds
Anthony's
things
coming in.
down?
Yeah. So gravity doesn't explain momentum,
Dude,
angular
right.
velocity.
dude, I'm going nuts.
Dude, the boss
Gravity
is
doesn't
here.
exist.
Let him, Bradley,
Anthony,
you're done. The
let
boss
me
is
explain
in.
gravity, Anthony, and then you can just tear me apart. Okay.
No, no. Let me. I asked you a question when you were on the show a while ago, and you've
Okay.
never been able to answer it. No flat earther can answer my one single question.
Here we go.
That
Go ahead.
absolutely proves the Earth is spherical and not
Go ahead.
flat. Answer this
can't wait.
question. None of them can answer it. If you take your map, your flat Earth map,
Yeah.
and you circumnavigate the equator on your
Yeah.
map, what is the equator?
24,901 miles.
There you go. Now, what if you circumnavigate Antarctica?
Yeah. 80,000 miles.
80,000 miles. Now, we all know on the spherical globe, the equator is the longest distance you could possibly travel on the Earth.
Correct.
That
So
way.
why does it take so long to go around Antarctica when it should be 13,000 miles? You're asking the dumbest question ever, Anthony.
Dumbest
and the
question.
answer is so
Oh,
easy.
You don't think there have been people that have circumnavigated Antarctica and come up with a lot less mileage than if you went around the equator? Everyone that's done it has noticed that.
Anthony,
Airlines
name
have
their
done
names.
it.
Name their
Ships
names,
have
'cause I'll
done it.
name them.
But I'm going to
Who?
believe you.
Who are you going to name, Anthony?
What?
Who has circumnavigated? Who has crossed over Antarctica and popped up on the other side of the world?
Plenty of people have gone
Nobody
around
has.
Antarctica. I'm not talking about crossing it. Which people have done, but I'm talking
No,
about going
nobody's done
around in the water. You pick
Yeah.
a spot and go around Antarctica, and then
and
you go
nobody's done it.
around what is the equator on your flat map. And
Hey.
you're telling me the Antarctica circumnavigation would be longer than the
Yes.
equator. That
Yes.
is such
Right.
horse shit.
And this little drone ship thing you're showing me here is ridiculous. And when you look at it, it's the dumbest thing ever. But here, this is the world record. Check this out. Anthony, check this out. This is the world record for circumnavigation. They went down here, down to Santiago. They went to Antarctica. Then they turned around and came back to Santiago. They went to this island over here, up and around, back and around the North Pole. Does that look like circumnavigation to you?
It looks like if you make it a sphere, it would make a lot more fucking sense.
It'd be a lot
because
straighter.
the world
this is
isn't
what it looks
fucking
like on a flat Earth.
If you
This is
take
all
a,
they did.
if you take a string and go from New York to Tokyo, do you know the string actually goes over Alaska? Because it's so big. But if you put it on a flat map, you'd go, why would you go over Alaska if you could just go like this? Because it's a sphere, you dumb fuck.
Have you looked at the flat Earth map? It goes right over Alaska.
I was a lot more polite to our guests.
Wait, Anthony, we have emergency plane landings. We have 16 emergency plane landings that prove the Earth is flat. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is from the United. It's kind of backwards for me. Boom, you go here over Alaska to Japan. Bam, straight line. Okay. If you look at flight routes on a flat Earth compared to a globe Earth, they make 0 sense on a globe Earth. Okay?
No, they make perfect sense on a globe Earth.
No, they don't. You haven't looked.
They make 0 sense on a flat Earth because you're not taking into consideration the fucking curve that's on a curved Earth. A sphere is naturally the strongest, most stable shape. Why the fuck would a shape of a flat plate be made floating in space when a sphere is the naturally occurring shape when not given any outside forces like gravity or anything? That's why things are spherical in space. When things spin, they naturally take on a spherical shape. Gravity pulls in on a spherical shape. What the hell?
Anthony,
where did this plate come from?
Let me address
a plate
that.
makes no sense in space.
You say no flat earther can address it, but your thing about Antarctica has been addressed 1,000 times, and no one has gone around.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
If you took a cruise around Antarctica, you would absolutely not cover as much real estate as you would going around the equator. That is a given. It is known for centuries.
It's never been done.
No one's ever taken a ship and gone around Antarctica.
Captain Cook is the last one that did it. It took him 3.5 years. He went like 60 to 80,000 miles.
Would you stop it? People have absolutely taken ships around Antarctica.
Nobody has.
Oh,
You're
stop
wrong.
it.
Eric, can you
You're
Google
assuming,
ship,
you're reading
Family
articles,
Guy,
you're reading
Antarctica?
stories. Anthony,
we're not doing a Christian.
Yes.
Why are you just trying to Jew him a free cruise?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold on. Let me answer you guys' question about gravity. You work in the same studio as your buddy Neil deGrasse Tyson. He says, quote, he has no idea what gravity is. They don't know how it works. Every test that they've done to prove it doesn't work. 96% of it has to be explained by dark matter. Let me finish my statement, and I'll tell you what gravity is, and we can test it and prove it. Okay? So he uses dark matter, and that's insane. That's like me owing you $100. I'll give you $4, and I'll give you $96 in dark dollars, but you'll never see them. Okay?
It's very interesting to say that.
So let me tell you what
just
gravity
because
is.
you can't come up with an absolute definition.
You pay to leave.
The who's, what's, where's, and why's of gravity. Look, many years ago they didn't know what germs were, and it just made people sick, and then they figured it out. Maybe at some point we'll figure out absolutely specifically what gravity is, but we know it is caused when you have mass. We know that much, that gravity is the result of mass.
What experiment was done to prove that? I'll tell you, it's called the Cavendish Experiment, and it failed. It proved that there is no attraction to mass.
The Cavendish, that's what they call the planet now, the Earth, because it's a dish.
So let me explain what gravity is. I'm going to explain what gravity is. The Earth system is like a giant battery. The only forces on this Earth, the true forces, are electricity and magnetism. They're brother and sister. Okay? The Earth has a measurable, not a theoretical, a measurable negative charge to it. That negative charge sets a downward direction. Everything is attracted to it. Like if you have dust floating in the air, you bring an ionizer in the room, it positively charges all the dust particles and they fall to the ground faster. Not because they're heavier, just because you change their electric potential. And that electric charge is what establishes it down. Then buoyancy and density sort everything out. If I had a basketball and I dropped it over a swimming pool, it would fall through the air because it's more dense than the air. It would stay on top of the water because it's less dense than the water. So here's a proof of that. You ever see those little triangle things? People make these triangle tinfoil things and they electrify them. They change it to a strong electric charge and it goes up. So that electricity is defying gravity.
There are plenty of ways. I have seen many things that have made things look like they are weightless. when you use electromagnetism, of course, you can make something look like it's floating in the air. Things that doesn't prove or disprove the existence of gravity. When you pick something up, it falls to the ground. That is because of the mass of the Earth. The planets rotating around the sun, it's because of the gravity of the sun, the gravity of the planets, the gravity of Earth is holding the moon in sync. It's all Anthony, a nice working machine that makes total sense. Your plate makes no
explanations of the nonsense that you're
at
talking.
all.
You're talking nonsense.
Dave, I have a question.
Let me explain. No,
wait, I have one quick question.
Let me address what Anthony said.
Okay.
So he believes that this ball this ball is holding on to that ball, right, with gravity 93 million miles away, and the Earth is falling around it and holding its gravity. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then that this moon is falling around the Earth, and the Earth is holding that gravity.
Yep.
You know what the 3-body problem is? We have over 80 bodies in our solar system, apparently. NASA, with their supercomputer, best computer in the world, you could say, you make a program and you say, all right, I got a ball this big, it's got this much gravity. I got a ball this big, it's got that much gravity, and you put it into orbit and it works perfectly. And you can predict where it's going to be in 1,000 years, and it's absolutely right. You add a third body, a moon or another planet.
Why are the Chinese people pulling the rope against the white people?
The entire model falls apart and it becomes a random beehive. So they can never ever model it.
No, because it's in sync. It's in synchronization that has happened over the course of years. And by the way, your drawing's a little out of scale. I think if the sun was that close to the moon and Earth, the moon would be plowed into that. But the distance, you guys always leave out the distance.
What happens when the moon goes between the sun and the Earth?
The size of these objects. When you talk about water, if you sprinkle water on a baseball and throw it, the water comes off.
I don't say that.
Yeah, it's not the fucking Earth with gravity and fucking.
I don't say
it's
that.
rotating once in 24 hours. It's not quite spilling the fuck. Stop! You're spilling the ocean.
Anthony, there's people that say crazy things.
I would just like to say this. I know usually you go onto shows and everybody agrees with you.
No.
What is
People
it like
disagree, but they're willing to listen. Unlike Anthony,
do you wear a mask?
Likes to yell and
do you wear a mask for COVID?
Never.
He doesn't.
Never. Oh, okay. Now there's something we could agree on.
I'm not offended when I said I don't because I'm not a faggot.
You know why? Because he doesn't believe in the science. I don't.
Anthony, if you want to learn about flat Earth, you can't just yell at me and not listen.
I got a show to do. Do me a favor. Walk to the edge of your plate and jump.
Hey, do me a favor. Get Neil deGrasse Tyson to talk to us.
I love Neil.
All right, Dave, where can I donate? Because I'm on board.
Agree to disagree.
So listen.
Agree to disagree.
Again, you can believe whatever the hell you want.
I believe the Earth is flat.
Yeah, I get it. So get my app. It's $2.99. It's called the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, and it will feed you every day, new video every day, all the frequently asked questions. It shows you how seasons work. It shows you how day and night work. It shows you everything. And you'll love it. Just read the reviews, except for the couple people like, it's not working on my phone because my phone from 1997.
Anthony just put a review up. You probably shouldn't read it.
Is there a website they can go to as well where they can get more flat Earth information? You made some valid points. You didn't sell me, but you could. But I really did enjoy hearing your thoughts on this.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, but I do think we both agree on several things. One, don't give control of your life to fucking anybody. We're incredible beings made of energy, made of light.
Yep.
And fucking, I don't think it changes whether I think the world is flat or round, the earth is flat or round. Go on. But that's it. And you could
you could find me at theflatearthpodcast.com, available on any podcast player, iTunes, SoundCloud. The Flat Earth podcast.com has all the links to everything. But the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app by Blue Water Bay. Check it out. You'll love it. And what else? My YouTube channel is the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, DITRH. I have short videos, 5 minutes and shorter, most of them.
Oh, those are great. Okay, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. All right, that is fantastic.
Thursday, thanks for coming on, Flat.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, Dave. I mean, and the boss is great. I love that fucking
guy.
That was fun.
The Ukrainian guy was fantastic.
He was disturbing. He's still there.
That is very scary.
What is he doing there?
He just sits there and waits until...
Is the earth as flat as his head, Dave, if you had to guess?
He makes me believe in the spinning earth.
All right.